Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your Tuesday evening metal market wrap up. And this, I was getting that in my head going. And it is about 6:20 p.m. on this August 12th, 2025. Well, what a day today. We had CPI come out. The headline number didn't show much inflation, but up to 3.1% on the core inflation. And people don't want to pay attention to that. They'd rather go to the headline and say, well, this is the reason for the Fed to cut. In fact, Scott Bessent came out this afternoon on Fox TV saying should be 50 basis points in September. Okay. The metal markets didn't respond to the bullishness of the report. They came down as the marketplace is just saying to itself, it's all systems go and let's run away with that. In terms of news for tomorrow, let's get to that. You're going to get the Mortgage Bankers Association number at 6 in the morning. The Richmond Fed President Barkin will speak at 8. Fed President Goolsbee is going to speak at 12 o'clock. The Atlanta Fed President is going to speak at 12:30 at a luncheon. API stockpiles just came out this afternoon, up 1.5 million, but motor stocks down. And remember, you're still making up from all the holiday in those motor stocks, but the distillates were up a little bit. I wouldn't say that that's a market mover in anything at all. You can see that energy very stable after that report came up. No bounce, and it's been down so hard. Bonds and notes. This was interesting today because you saw the back end still climbing in yield. That's the problem for the president. When the 10 and the 30s are climbing, that's your mortgage rate money and other parts of the money. And while the front end is seeing a decline because there's so much pressure on the Federal Reserve to cut rates, and that's where their influence is the greatest, what do you do in the back end of that? In the grain markets, you had a very bearish crop report for corn. A surprise that's a little friendly, I thought, in the soybean market, and wheat not so friendly either. When we take a look at the dollar was down 43 points as the market is now trying to figure out which way to go. Now, I will do a dollar report tomorrow. I came home from an epidural yesterday. I didn't realize that I wasn't going to sleep because of it. And then I read the instructions again, and they said that is very common, that you get very little sleep as those steroids hit you. I don't have muscles from it, but I feel better. And I'm probably working now on 46 hours with no sleep. So I want to go to bed later, I can tell you that, and I'll get a good night's sleep. All right, let's take a look, if we could, at what's going on here. In the gold, you can see you've been coming down. You're down almost 3% for the week, 2.62%, down $90 an ounce. This is just what I want to see happen. If you get my special gold report, you'd understand why. You've had a pattern of a lower low, then a higher high, and a reaction. The key is really not to get back under these lows, to come down and find some support in this general area. You can see the higher high and low on the swing line. I said yesterday it wouldn't surprise me if we play games at the 18-day average. You got under it. Maybe you're going to go to the 100 at 33.66. The resistance up here in the Bollinger Band top and down here at 33.70. So we'll see if the market can do anything there. And the momentum is pointing down. But are you trending? No. A higher high and a lower low is not a trend. The lower high, lower low would be a trend, but that's not the position you have right now. It wouldn't bother me if it happened. When we take a look at where we're at, I was playing with this just a minute ago. Currently, you're just sitting over the 18-day average of closes at 88.48, with 88.40 being that 18-day average of closes. Get under that and gold starts losing to silver, hold it, and this is the area where gold might kiss it and take back off against the silver market. In silver, the longer-term trend, unlike gold, is down. Now, when I say longer-term, it's a daily chart, so it's not super long. But lower highs, lower lows. To negate this, you've got to get yourself back up and over what is this high? Let's come to that, and you can see it's 39-something. Let's see if it'll let me do it. It should. There we go. Yep. Here we go. It's 39.35. So that's the number that it'd have to get over to turn itself back to the upside. Barring that, I expect the battle at the 18-day average of closes with flat momentum, but the trend is down. I don't think you're going to get aggressive selling at 38, 68 and a half, trying to risk, if you will, 50 cents. That's $2,500 on a full-size market. Copper has thrown out the first signal of higher lows, higher highs. It's still a bearish embedded reading, but it's trying to establish a trade bottom, in my opinion. And when we take a look at the platinum market, you can see you've got the higher lows, the higher high, trying to get away from being oversold. Look for resistance at 1382.10. And in the dollar, you're back in a downtrend in the short term. You've got the pattern of lower highs, certainly the lower lows. If the market were to fall apart, and I'm not saying it will, if it were, then maybe the 96.65 level in the lower Bollinger Bands is going to be it. This market's got what we call an upward price count. It's rare that they're voided, but getting back under these lows would do that and throw a real wrench into the market, potentially calling for a move back to the 90 level. Yeah, 90. So be a bit cautious with all that. As you heard me say, I'm going to be doing a dollar report, but right now you've got your gold report, and probably stronger than gold are the miners. And something you have to look at. I do cover that also in what I did. In this report, you're going to get the seasonal charts, the QT price counts. You're going to get two seasonals, in fact, there. You're going to get the weekly charts, the daily charts. So I put it all together to give you a package so you can see how I'm viewing the market, where I see the market going, when, so on and so forth. How do you view this? It's pretty simple. You just move your cursor to the top up there. There's a cursor there to take you there. Otherwise, an icon there to take you there. Otherwise, go to iraepstein.com. You'll see it on the top left, staring you in the face. Look for your dollar index report, probably in the afternoon tomorrow, after I'm able to get myself together here. Sorry, I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great evening. Watch the other videos, and I'll see you in the morning video as well. You take care.